Hey guys, we're here today with Octavio Jimenez Blanco. He is an alum of our most recent MIT Global Entrepreneurship Bootcamp, and he is here in Boston for a few weeks. So we thought, hey, why don't we get him on the podcast? Octavio, how are you?
Fine. Thanks for inviting me to this, Erdin.
Well, you're welcome. It's great to see you here, but I have to ask, what are you doing in Boston?
Well, I'm came for an entrepreneurship program called Bootcamp.
All
It's a
right.
relationship between the Mexico and the US. We are staying here for a 3 week at Boston University, and we have to do like kind of a similar thing about the entrepreneurship bootcamp done on Korea, but this one is for Mexicans.
So it sounds like you really are passionate into turning yourself into an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
Tell us why.
absolutely. Well, my entrepreneurship career began a little while ago. I realized I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I like creating things, like giving to people products that are not yet developed. And I realized that being an entrepreneur brings comes with some responsibilities because you are creating some things that people are not used to, and more in developing countries like Mexico.
You learned about our bootcamp through the online course,
Yes.
Entrepreneurship 101.
Yep.
What attracted you to online education in the first place?
Well, to begin with, I consider myself to be really, how would you say, self-sustainable. I teach myself a lot,
Hmm.
so I really like the idea of learning on the internet because there are some problems with Mexican schools. They don't give you the enough material for you to learn, so
Hmm.
you have to seek yourself in another places like the internet. So I consider it a really big opportunity to be like in the same terms of even an MIT alum.
Right. And how did you discover our course edX?
Okay, well, it began with a Facebook post from a friend, Guillermo.
Uh huh.
So then I answered to look about the MIT Global Entrepreneurship Bootcamp,
Yeah.
and then when I realized I wanted to come here, I looked onto the courses and take them all. It was really good. I mean, I really like the way you were speaking with Bill. You were so precise, so transparent, making like all the things so anyone could understand it.
Wow. Well, thank you. We're flattered. That was really the idea. And I'm curious if you could say the number one thing that you learned in the courses.
In the courses,
Yeah.
what I would take from like back the most, it would be to fail, like to fail fast and iterate over an idea, to go out and talk with the customers, because sometimes you have this incredible idea but you haven't validated yet. And MIT teaches you a lot about that, like to approach to the people, to the customers, in order to understand how you can solve their problems.
Hey, that's really cool. And if you were to improve the course, what would you do? What are your criticisms of the course?
Okay, well, in terms of criticisms, it was you are not open all the year. In my
Hmm.
case, I didn't have the opportunity to make the certification
Right.
because when I entered, it was already closed.
Hmm.
So I would have liked to get the certifications.
Why?
Oh, because it gives you more validation. Because not only a lot of people could take the course, but in order to get a certificate, you have to be like doing well on the course, not
Hmm.
only actually taking the course.
Yeah, Octavia, we'd love to keep the courses open year round. It's just that it does take quite a bit of time to keep a course open because you need to interact with the students. You need to update the course content. And we're a very small team. We do our best, and we should get better with time. But this is the challenge, really, the time and the size of our team that prevents us from being able currently to offer the course year
The
round.
whole year.
Okay, so your friend Guillermo told you about the bootcamp. What attracted you about uh, the bootcamp, and why did you decide to apply and then to eventually come to
Well,
the bootcamp?
okay, at the beginning, I took it as a challenge because it was like on the webpage you were saying experience the best entrepreneurship, yeah, the drinking from a fire hose experience.
Right.
So having the best experience of your life, it was kind of a challenge for me, and I like a lot the challenging myself, pushing me into the limits and going over places that I'm not used to be. So I really like the idea of being around people like of the top notch. That's the thing that make me wanted to apply.
Do you think the promise of it being an intense experience was it met?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've never slept that less in my entire life. It was actually like 4 hours the whole week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Well, that's the idea. If a lot of our students listening to the podcast, they may not know about the boot camp, or they may and just don't have enough information about it. How would you describe the boot camp to someone who doesn't know about it?
Okay, I would say the bootcamp is an approach to the MIT methodology about getting a startup that is based on the 24 steps of entrepreneurship. It's kind of a validated system because a lot of startups have already gone to the market with this one. So it's an approach that gives you the mindset of how startups are made on the MIT.
So your boot camp took place in Seoul,
In
Korea.
yes,
Was it worth your time traveling all the way from Mexico City to Seoul, spending a super intense week there? Like, what what did you get out of it in the end? And you be truthful with us. It's a tough experience. It's not a perfect experience, and it'd be great to hear your perspective on how we could make it better.
I think you could make it better, like making it longer. It was really good. In my specific case, I would have liked to push myself more to the limits because a lot of, as you were saying there, the more friction there is in the teams, the better you get. Like in your words, it was beautiful to see people fighting and screaming around and having all these kind of argues between each other. Because only when you push yourself to the limits is when you learn.
Yeah.
So I would have liked to be more challenged on that week, like more pressure,
Even more.
even more. Yeah,
Well, that's an entrepreneur we're talking about. What would you say the number one thing was that you learned in the boot camp?
I would say that the teamwork is all that matters.
Hmm.
It's all based on the team. When you build the best team possible, then the idea is not that such a problem. I mean, it concerns, but it depends a lot on the team you are working with. And also that when you realize that you have the power or the ability to do amazing things, that when you start seeing yourself as a capable person, or like thinking you are not above the average of the people in the world, a lot of things can start to happen.
Yeah. And can you tell us about your teammates at the boot camp?
Yeah, I was with our team was really multicultural. We were Janice from the US, Odai. He was from, well, actually in Germany, but he was from Syria. Nicholas Kim from South Korea,
Amazing.
Francesca from Italia, and John Megan from Scotland.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really multicultural experience. I've never experienced that before.
And to be clear, you didn't know these individuals before you came to the boot camp, right?
Yeah, I didn't know them. A couple of days before the boot camp, we got to know each other and we kind of engaged. So
Yeah.
it was a really cool experience to be in their team.
Are you guys still in touch?
Yeah, absolutely. We still are in touch on Messenger, and we have like gathered some reunions,
Cool.
but none of them have been possible due to the distances between our countries.
Hey, yeah, time will come. Time will
Yeah,
come.
yeah, of course. Actually, we are hoping this reunion at the MIT can put us together.
What makes you excited about coming back to MIT for the bootcamp reunion?
Well, yeah, one of the things that excites me is seeing again all the people, the ones that I have the opportunity to work with, to be in touch again with the MIT community, because there's as Bill put it in his book, there's a virus here that can you can feel it. I believe that when you are in the same place where a lot of great things have been done, it kind of transmits to you. You can feel it in the air. I don't know how to explain it, but it gives you a lot of motivation to keep doing the things you are doing.
Well, you came to the bootcamp. You're coming back as an alum. You're currently in Boston in a different entrepreneurship program. So you're on a path. What's next for you?
Well, next for me, I'm currently being accelerated at Numa, Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to finish that and further understand my market to deploy there in Mexico in my startup.
What is your startup?
It's a virtual reality live streaming service. Let's say you are not able to go to a concert or a game match, or maybe attend to a meaningful place, let's say the wedding of your sister. So if you don't have the time or the money to do that, then you make a payment and have the experience of virtual reality as if you were there. Actually, I want to stream the bootcamp to give the opportunity to people who cannot come to have a little bit of the firehouse experience.
Well, Octavia, thank you for coming by. We wish you good luck, obviously, with your company. Let us know how we can help. And we look forward to the Bootcamp reunion and seeing you grow before then and after for sure.
Of course, I'm looking for that too. Thanks.
Thanks, Octavia.
I'm sorry, like the language barrier. Sorry, but
You're doing awesome.
yeah, thanks, Erdin.
Yeah, I'll see you around the office. It's nice to have you come by.
Of course, thank you.
Take care. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye bye.